This is the news leader, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Tonight, acclaimed director Steven Spielberg is recovering after undergoing emergency surgery to remove one of his kidneys. Good evening, everyone. I'm Diana Williams.
And I'm Bill Ritter. Doctors say a complete recovery is expected for the Oscar-winning director. Tonight, Steven Spielberg is recuperating in his California home following surgery to remove one of his kidneys. It was an emergency procedure. This after Spielberg's doctors found an irregularity on his kidney during a routine checkup. Little public information has been released about Spielberg's kidney problem. Today, his spokesman would only say that the Oscar-winning director did have one of his kidneys removed recently. This after doctors found what they say was an irregularity on the kidney during a routine checkup. The spokesman said the surgery was performed at Cedars-Sinai Hospital, but he would not say when.
Otherwise healthy people, they can usually leave the hospital on the second or third day following the removal of the kidney and expect to be back to their usual activities within 6 to 12 weeks.
Dr. David Sherman is a kidney specialist. He says he believes there is one reason Spielberg had his kidney removed.
The reason to take that kidney out is only one. It's a cancer.
But reasons other than cancer include kidney removal for transplant, severe kidney trauma, or a dysfunctional kidney because of infection. A routine exam like the one Spielberg had usually includes a urine test that may detect a tumor.
I suspect that they found this tumor when it was completely within a single kidney, and that type of tumor, when removed by nephrectomy, removing the whole kidney, results in a complete cure.
Again, Steven Spielberg is expected to make a complete recovery. His spokesman says follow-up treatment will not be needed. He also said Mr. Spielberg will show up in Pasadena as scheduled this Saturday to receive an award from the NAACP. Diana?
An 18-year-old Mount Vernon woman is in the hospital tonight after her ex-boyfriend shot her and then killed himself. It happened in a hallway at Westchester Community College in Valhalla. The woman was shot in the head. She's in critical condition, but she is expected to survive. The man then ran outside where he shot and killed himself. Police say the couple was in the midst of a breakup. A manhunt is on tonight in the Bronx for a man who shot two men, killing one of them in the parking lot of a Wendy's restaurant. Police say the men were eating lunch this afternoon when they saw the gunman hanging around their car. One man went out and approached the gunman, who fatally shot him point blank in the face. His friend then came out. He was shot in the chest. The gunman got away.
The prosecution rests. Those words are expected tomorrow in the Amadou Diallo murder trial. Today, prosecutors implied the officers charged with killing Diallo may have tried to cover it up. N.J. Burkett is covering the trial for us. He's live tonight in Albany. N.J.?
And Bill, this morning, all four officers were shown their service weapons for the first time since Diallo was killed and were so obviously disgusted they could barely look at them. In testimony today, the prosecution was clearly trying to suggest that the officers tried to get their stories straight in the moments immediately after the shooting.
The officers left the courthouse in the frigid Albany wind chills and briefly crossed paths with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Officer Edward McMillan took a deep breath and kept on walking. In court, the officers were forced to identify their service weapons. Officer Kenneth Boss literally pushed his gun away. Sean Carroll couldn't even look at his. Edward McMillan quickly passed the guns to Richard Murphy, who could barely bring himself to touch them. The prosecution called in Detective Kevin Barry, an NYPD ballistics expert, who gave the jury a demonstration.
Each separate shot requires a separate trigger pull?
Yes.
The prosecution is clearly attempting to prove that the shooting of Amadou Diallo took several seconds and was not a single frantic burst of gunfire. To make their point, prosecutors called Thomas Bell, a neighbor and NYPD trainee, the third witness to describe a pause in the gunfire.
Bang out the series of shots.
Earlier in the day, Ida Vincent, Diallo's next-door neighbor, described the same thing. But when defense attorneys asked her about voices she heard in the street, prosecutors suddenly had an opening.
You remember what the words were?
Yes.
And some substance. Could you tell us what the words were that you heard?
The exact words?
Yep.
O-S-H-I-T. Okay, we're just going to say this.
Defense attorney James Culleton.
It was hearsay testimony. It can't be attributed to anyone in this case. It's totally irrelevant, and it should be inadmissible.
Now tomorrow, as Bill said, the prosecution is expected to rest its case, but not before calling their star witness, the medical examiner, who performed the autopsy on Amadou Diallo. Live tonight, the Albany County Courthouse, Albany, New York. N.J. Burke at ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, NJ. The second Abner Louima trial is underway in Brooklyn, where prosecutors are trying to prove that 3 police officers lied to protect one of their own. Today, Louima took the stand, again describing how he was sodomized by police last May. Charles Schwarz, Thomas Weiss, and Thomas Bruder are accused of conspiring to protect Schwarz from prosecution. Defense attorneys say that never happened.
The truth of the matter is there was no conspiracy here, and that there's a police officer wrongfully accused in prison. That is the truth.
Justin Volpe pleaded guilty in that attack. Charles Schwarz was convicted of helping him and was sentenced to 30 years. Rap mogul Sean Puffy Combs pleaded not guilty today to charges stemming from a nightclub shooting. Combs was arraigned on charges of criminal possession of a handgun. Those charges are related to a shooting at a Midtown nightclub last December that injured 3 people. Combs and his girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were stopped after leaving that club. Combs was arrested when police found a stolen gun in the front seat of his car.
The popular Latino rapper known as Big Pun has died. His real name was Christopher Rios, and he died of an apparent heart attack at White Plains Hospital. He was only 27. Sandra Bookman is live in the Longwood section of the Bronx with more on the life and death of Big Pun. Sandra?
Bill, the Bronx is remembering the man they called Big Pun here tonight. We're at the intersection of Westchester Avenue and Rogers Place. Fellow rap artists and graffiti artists are building a mural in his honor. They say that's how they want to see him remembered in this community. They say that, yes, Big Pun was a big man in size, but he was also, more importantly, a big talent with an even bigger soft spot for the Bronx. No question, Big Pun had become a big player in the hip-hop game, featured along with fellow Bronx-based rapper Fat Joe in the new Jennifer Lopez video. Tonight, at radio station Hot 97, New York's hip-hop heavyweight, news of the rapper's death shocked the staff who knew him and the listeners who loved him.
A bunch of people have been calling, and I'm so sorry to say that the rumors are true and that it is true that we lost Big Pun this afternoon to a heart attack.
I'd like to send my condolences to Big Pun and his family. Fat Joe, one piece, I love you.
This is David from the Bronx. Big condolences to Big Pun and his family. Home, we love y'all all. You were the best.
27-year-old Christopher Rios, Big Pun's real name, first had an underground hit with the single I'm Not a Player, and then he became the first Latino rapper to go platinum. In an interview on ABC 7's Tiempo back in 1998, he said he was proud of that success, but even more proud of his roots in the Bronx.
I mean, I got a bigger house now. Yeah. Nicer car, but I'm still in the Bronx.
And tonight, fellow Bronx rappers paid tribute to a man they say always honored his community, painting a mural they believe will be a lasting legacy.
Not only was he a friend, but he was a Latino who was representing for our people, and we feel that he's definitely someone that should be remembered.
Tonight, Christopher Rios leaves behind a wife and 3 young children. His new album, which he had just completed, is due out in April. We're live in the Longwood section of the Bronx. I'm Sandra Bookman, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Sandra. A bit of politics. First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton is in Rochester tomorrow, the next stop on her upstate tour to kick off her U.S. Senate campaign. Today, Clinton met with voters in Buffalo, while her critics jumped on an apparent miscue by her staff yesterday. Before her formal announcement, they played the Billy Joel song Captain Jack, which, among other things, refers to drug use.
Captain Jack will get you high tonight.
Everything was written out, everything was planned, and the whole purpose of it was to reinvent Mrs. Clinton. And the message that got out, they say by mistake, which sometimes, if you read Freud, can be the most powerful message. The message that got out by mistake was, let's say yes to drugs.
I know that many of you were
Well, the Clinton campaign says it does not say yes to drugs, but does admit that it was a mistake to use the song.
As we continue on this Monday night, trying to keep your cool and cool your rising costs to heat your home. Just ahead on Eyewitness News, we'll tell you what's being done to try and bring those sky-high prices down.
Also coming up, the world's most popular website comes under an internet attack, shutting it down.
Plus, food for thought when it comes to low-carb, high-protein diets. We'll help you weigh your options by showing you the facts behind those fad diets.
And later, the movie star who may replace Michael J. Fox on Spin City. That and more when Eyewitness News continues.
1 minute ago. You're watching the news leader, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. with Diana Williams, Bill Ritter, Scott Clark with sports, Sam Champion with the AccuWeather forecast, and the Eyewitness News team.
We have this just into the Eyewitness newsroom. Portions of 2 Westchester communities are tonight without water. A 12-inch water main is burst, and it's affecting sections of Eastchester and New Rochelle. The break happened just before 8:30 tonight. No word yet on how long it will take to restore water service, but repairs are not expected to be finished until sometime tomorrow.
Home heating oil prices keep going up, and now there is a call for the U.S. government to release some of its oil supply to help bring those prices down. Homeowners are getting socked with the higher heating bills because OPEC is cutting back the oil supply. Senator Charles Schumer is urging the government to release some of the millions of gallons of oil that it now holds in reserve for emergencies.
We're not just talking about heating oil here. We're talking about gasoline, we're talking about diesel fuel, we're talking about all oil products, this is going to continue.
The Clinton administration says it is considering releasing some reserve oil.
More money for Medicare and tax breaks over the next 10 years. Those are 2 of the proposals in President Clinton's $1.8 trillion budget. The president's plan calls for $195 billion for Medicare and $351 billion in tax cuts over the next 10 years. Now, to help pay for it, a 25 cents a pack increase in the federal cigarette tax. Republicans don't like this plan. They say Americans should get a bigger tax break. And tonight, a pharmaceutical mega merger has hundreds of workers at Warner Lambert in New Jersey worrying about losing their jobs. Warner Lambert has been taken over by Pfizer for $90 billion. The merger creates the 2nd largest drug company in the world. Job cuts could come as Pfizer tries to save $1.5 billion over the next 2 years.
Well, if you're on the web, a lot of web users had trouble reaching one of the largest and most popular sites on the internet today. Yahoo came under attack and crashed for about 3 hours. The attack on the internet happened when someone created a fake traffic jam and blocked others from reaching the site. Today's attack apparently came from a lot of different locations all at the same time. Yahoo, currently working on installing filters to prevent future attacks. They said Yahoo when it happened.
Exactly. All right. Is breastfeeding best for your baby? Coming up on Eyewitness News, why information some doctors give mothers could lead them to do the wrong thing for their child.
Also ahead on Eyewitness News, the skinny on those high-protein, low-carb diets. What do you have to lose by trying one of these weight loss plans?
And later, Tiger Woods rocks Pebble Beach with an incredible win. When Eyewitness News continues. Stay with us.
Have you seen Amber? ABC 7 urges you to protect our children.
A new study says that mothers who get information from their doctors about baby formula are more likely to stop breastfeeding. Researchers say breastfeeding moms are targeted by baby formula companies, which pass out literature to obstetricians. They say doctors should stop giving new moms coupons and free baby formula. Researchers say breastfeeding is the best way to nourish newborns.
Well, if you're looking to take off some weight, the right diet, of course, plays a crucial role. The newest fads are the high-protein, low-carbohydrate diets. Many are controversial, but they are also very popular. Dr. Jay Adlersberg joins us with his special report, Fad Diets, Just the Facts. Jay?
Bill, the low-fat diets of just a few years ago are now being replaced by the low-carbohydrate craze. And there are more of these diets out there than ever. Whether they help overweight eaters drop pounds or not, these new diets are teaching people a new approach to food.
Oh, that's great.
The diet books are selling like hotcakes. The new fad diets are apparently teaching people a new way to eat. Susan Hain took off 60 pounds with one of the fad diets, and she's kept it off. The diet changed her ways.
I have one main meal, and then I eat a few smaller meals throughout the day. I've really been able to incorporate all the things that I like to eat, but at a small amount, and I gauge exactly what I'm eating throughout the day.
Why are the popular low-carbohydrate diets successful? Lowered calories, for one. Dr. Marion Nessel is head of food nutrition at NYU.
The secret of all of this, and the explanation, is that these diets are extremely low in calories, and that somehow they enable people to eat a very, very low-calorie diet without realizing it or without suffering too much.
The low-carb diets are not that difficult to manage, and people can still eat in a healthy way on them. Carbohydrates are bread, pasta, and rice. Vegetables are also carbohydrates. When someone eats carbohydrates, the body converts them into simple sugars. Sugar stimulates the production of insulin, a hormone that's very important in regulating metabolism.
We know that when insulin is raised, it actually does block the body from burning fat.
Most dieters don't know this. Two healthy people can take in the same amount of carbohydrates and secrete very different amounts of insulin, creating a different ability to burn fat. Obesity expert Dr. Stephen Himesfield says this is a whole new area of dietary research.
We're still trying to determine what the best kinds of dietary components are, but things like insulin metabolism and how individuals differ in the general public is only coming under attention now.
So far, so good. That 2 pounds, most of it's fat.
Dick Pignon, a stockbroker, has lost 30 pounds under the guidance of Rob Nevins, a diet guru whose company designs and supervises individualized diets. Rob says he formulates the diets to burn fat more efficiently. He uses low-fat protein and the carbohydrates that are slower to turn to sugar.
It's the low glycemic carbohydrates, the slow converting carbohydrates. Those are the ones we want to go and select.
And that means pasta, white bread, potatoes, corn, and carrots are managed more carefully, eaten less frequently than the green vegetables. But he takes into account people's preferences.
If this is going to be a lifestyle, you've got to make sure that you're eating foods that you like already.
Which is why the low-carb diets may have so many followers. They're easy to manipulate within a healthy eating plan. People pay attention to what they're eating and as a result may be eating less than they normally do.
It shows that if we concentrate our energies on the dieting, that maybe we can really make progress.
The most important thing to keep in mind in a good diet is staying healthy, including eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Remember, there is no one diet plan that works for everyone. Look at these diets carefully before you try any one of them. Diane and Bill.
All right, good advice. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
After some cold temperatures, we warm up. Sam's up next with his AccuWeather forecast.
First, though, we got to look at tonight's winning New York lottery numbers, New Jersey numbers, now tonight's drawing, live drawing of Take 5.
Henry. Welcome to Monday, February 7th, Take 5 drawing. Been observed by an auditor from KPMG. There were no first prize winners in Saturday night's lotto drawing. Wednesday's lotto jackpot is now $10 million. Tonight's winning Take 5 numbers are 32, 8, 33, 22, and 19, making Monday, February 7th's winning Take 5 results 32, 8, 33, 22, and 19. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night.
Weather now. We've got Sam back with us. Warms our hearts and warmer temperatures, too.
It actually is. We have the potential of getting to 50 degrees this week in some places. I know. Hadn't been here in a while, and we don't really see a whole lot of snow problems till maybe toward the weekend. Okay, we'll get to that in the forecast. A look at... Wait a minute. Triborough Bridge, thank you. Gosh, haven't done that in a while. I did. I forgot. I'm looking at it going, not the Verrazano Bridge, going through the list of bridges here. 30 degrees outside right now, relative humidity at 39%, the barometer rising at this point. Northwestern winds at 14 to 20 miles per hour. There's a good strong breeze out there that falls back in the next few hours. 43 degrees, the warmest number on this day, and the first time that we've been over the 40-degree mark since January 16th. Yeah, right about then. And we have the potential of getting warmer later this week. Not immediately. Tonight, tomorrow, some cool temperatures still, 22 degrees for low temperature, 20 out toward Islip, 9, 14, 20 degrees are your western numbers. Lakewood comes in at 19 degrees. Satellite pictures clearing out the skies. Any snow flurries that were around earlier in the evening in central New York State, also western New York, moved right through the Hudson Valley, dried up very quickly, left us alone now with clearing skies. So we're clearing tonight, bring out the sunshine tomorrow, warm things up a bit from your start temperature of about 22, take it up to 32 for a high, which is cooler than it was today. So it's kind of a crisp and cold day. Even sunrise, beautiful day for the first part of the day, runs all day long. Arctic air is waiting just off to the north, but we'll play the temperature game a bit during the week as we get some warmer air squeezing to the coastline by midweek. Here's how that works. We've got this cold air dropping out of the Arctic zone. By Thursday, it's taken a good part of the northern tier of states, also right around the Great Lakes. That squeezes warm air up from the south, and we say by Wednesday into Thursday, we have the potential of getting numbers into the 40s, could be 50 degrees in some cases in central New Jersey. That's away from the coastline and the effect of the cooler water temperatures. Now, by Friday into Saturday, this Arctic air is on top of us. We've got some cooler numbers to deal with, and we have several small storm systems by the weekend that might want to deliver a little slushy, snowy kind of mix. But
Looks like it's going to be snow-free through the weekdays. Bright sunrise at 22 degrees, and sunrise is right around 7 o'clock in the morning. Sunny and cold, 32 degrees tomorrow. Very nice day, a little cooler than it was today. Wednesday warmer at 48, Thursday 44, and like we said, Wednesday, see no reason some areas away from the coastline in New Jersey could get to 50 degrees.
Wow. You remember how to do it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Scott's up next with sports.
I love it when he plays the temperature game, too. For cash and prizes, that's when it gets interesting. We're going to show you Tiger Woods' tremendous comeback at Pebble Beach today. Plus, coming up on Eyewitness News, the Knicks went to war with casualties galore tonight. And they pulled off a few tricks, between the legs even. Oh. And a huge upset under the dome next.
The Knicks doctors keeping busy. Scott's here with sports.
Thank you, Bill. They went to Charlotte shorthanded tonight, sporting just 9 available players for work, and it showed. The so-called Knicks suits are no longer the breast. They're players too wounded to walk on the court. A bunch of them. It was tough to find some highlights tonight, but here's one for you. Charlie Ward bounced pass right through Chris Dudley's legs to Kurt Thomas, just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. This is more like the Knicks night. Latrell Sprewell. Meanwhile, Eddie Jones had his best night of the season. 34 points for Eddie Jones, and add a season-best 10 three-pointers by Charlotte. Derek Coleman put it away with one of them. Hornets win 95-85. Now here's the latest on Marcus Camby, who went down during yesterday's victory over Miami. An MRI shows a partial tear of the anterior cruciate ligament in his right knee. Camby will undergo diagnostic arthroscopic surgery tomorrow to determine the exact damage done. Not since the great Ben Hogan did it in 1948 has a player won 6 straight PGA Tour events. But now comes Tiger Woods, and after what he did today, not even Byron Nelson's record of 11 straight victories is safe anymore. It came and completed the charge with a birdie, yet left him just a mess. He's the one who led by 7 with 7 to play, and he lost by 2 to Tiger Woods, who wins at Pebble Beach.
It's not over until it's over. And I know how difficult it is to win out there. And you just have to be patient.
And you have to be real good. The Jets wide receiver Wayne Corbett has been arrested for disorderly conduct stemming from an incident outside a New Jersey bar early Sunday morning. The former Giants, now Colts running back Keith Elias was also arrested. The St. John's basketball team has left for Providence for their game tomorrow night without Eric Barkley. The NCAA has suspended Barkley for reportedly swapping cars with a friend and has asked for more information, the NCAA, from the school before rendering a final decision. And finally, the game of the night. Seton Hall traveled to the Carrier Dome to take on the undefeated Orangemen of Syracuse, a team that had rattled off 19 straight wins, ranked number 4 in the nation. Seton Hall built a double-digit